Hi, my name is Ryan, and I do not do well with scary games. I play them in bursts of 15 minutes, which is, coincidentally, about roughly the time between each jump scare that leaves me in a cold sweat. Despite this barrier to entry, I actually love the idea of horror games, and the Resident Evil series has a soft spot in my heart. In particular, number 2 was something I grew up with as a kid. Jumping straight into the remake, I've been surprised at how they've been able to make zombies seem scary again. That the zombies become frightening again is a combination of factors. The Resident Evil 2 remake achieves a high level of graphical fidelity. We can see this guy picking burger out of his teeth. But we can also see some of the main arteries in this unfortunate soul's neck. Like the original, the zombies also seem to loom over the player character, imposing a malign intent on them. The sound design is also great, with silence reigning supreme, creating an air of tension, until it is finally broken by one of the varied moans and yells of the zombies. But most importantly, the zombies in Resident Evil 2 have an important set of values within the system. They have high commitment costs in terms of the resources you have at your disposal. Let's look at this example. This zombie is in the middle of a corridor, right where we want to go. We might not be able to run past it. If we try that, we might take a point of damage if it grabs us. We could try getting past with a knife, but that could take a while and is risky in close quarters. We could try to find another way around, but who knows what we'll find on the other route. Using our gun, this zombie could take up to 7 shots in the head to finally down. We could take out a leg with 3 shots and run past, but our timing has to be pretty good not to get grabbed, and the zombie will remain there the next time we have to cross this corridor. With ammo at a premium, the player has to make a decision. Is this zombie worth my dwindling ammo supply? With so many zombies shuffling around the police station, each one represents a high commitment cost. There comes a point when you have to make the decision to conserve your ammo and find another way past. If you cannot afford to take out the zombie, it becomes a much higher threat. This constrained economic system in the Resident Evil 2 remake is classic survival horror. There are not enough resources to take out everything, so you must risk running away. It makes even the lowliest enemies take on an air of invulnerability. This is a big contrast to what we may have experienced in zombie games of the last 10 years. Each zombie here is maybe taking a headshot to go down, or a melee weapon to the face, or whatever this duct tape monstrosity is doing right now. Let's also look at how space functions in these games. Wide open areas where the threat can be circumnavigated. It accentuates the zombies' slow movements in some cases, and increases our own agency. Both the original and remade Resident Evil 2 games put special constraints at the forefront, tight corridors and barely enough space to maneuver. The developers want you to feel powerless. Instead of functioning as a reminder of that thin veil between life and death, zombie games of the last 10 years offer us a power fantasy over the idea of death. What Resident Evil 2 shows is that shuffling and inescapable doom. When everything we throw at it is ignored, human agency is shown to be worthless. This is why the zombies in Resident Evil 2 are so scary. The game goes right back to its survival horror roots and, through constraint, shows us that we are inferior to death. As scary as they are, I'm just glad that zombies are the only thing I have to worry about. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to check out my last video on Return of the Obra Dinn, then click on the link in the video. If you'd like to be notified when my next video drops, then click on the subscribe button.